You are watching the GameCreds.com Clan Invitational Finals, cast by myself, Total Biscuit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SHOUTcraft right here. We have No Name, which is the Fnatic General EU account. It is actually Gretorp in the Dirty Blue Trunks, as I like to call them. He's playing Terran up to the western prong, or the left prong of the scrap station, whichever you prefer, versus his opponent, the mighty Killer, for Team Dignitas, replacing Naniwa, who is nowhere to be found. He may have fallen down some kind of well, we don't know, and indeed, we don't actually have the so-called Lassilisk in order to save him from the well, so it looks like he's going to be rotting there for all eternity. A little bit unfortunate, I tend to find that would not really be the way I would like to go in that particular situation, but indeed, that is what he's stuck with right now. No Name, aka Gretorp, whose name I'm going to have to try and keep. Could you have picked something other than No Name? Because that triggers in my head and says, this guy has no name, he has no face. He's a secret agent man, secret agent man. They've taken away his name and taken away his name. Yes, that works, whatever. No Name, aka Gretorp, builds right down the bottom of the ramp. Exciting stuff. He's going to try and block off his ramp that way, which works. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Oh Killer, what do you plan on doing? Well, it's looking like an expansion is extremely likely. Why would you not fast expand on this particular map? Well, usually there's, well, there are a couple of good reasons, but there is no reason right now not to start expanding immediately. There you go. Killer with a quick expansion right there on 14 supply. Nobody is surprised by this. I certainly hope not. Gretorp continuing with his building right there. Killer has now seen it, so no cheese is afoot. He is well aware that this is going to be happening. He's not too worried about that. It is intriguing, though. It's an interesting idea, and indeed, I would say that it's being built deliberately to actually support some kind of expansion in the not-too-distant future. No Name, aka Gretorp, may have the resources coming up for it. Indeed, he's only just pumping out one Marine right now. Continues with the pump, gets a little bit of distance mining going on. Does he have the money? Yes, he does. Indeed, he's going to fast expand as well, and he's then going to wall off at this location, which means that, you know, it's still potentially vulnerable. Of course, you can drop down here. You could also take this out, but it's less vulnerable than you might expect. Trying to keep up with Killer's hatchery right there, and indeed the speed of his expanding. Killer with the spawning pool coming up right here. Nothing really to worry about in that regard. It's all good, folks. It's all good. Nobody's concerned. Interesting stuff, though, nonetheless, with the quick expansion there from Gretorp. Indeed, we're seeing a few more of that, actually. Cloud loves to do this. He absolutely adores it. Cloud is the only guy that I've ever seen expand as a Terran on 14 supply. I swear that guy thinks he's a Zerg. He really, really isn't, but he plays like one. And actually, it's badass. It's really, really good, and he ended up winning the Fnatic MSI $3,000 play open with that very strategy against Show. I think it was on the jungle base, and might have been in the final map, but whatever the case, it was messy, folks. Or was it Lost Temple? I can't remember. One of the green ones. There you go. There you go. Double expansion. Expansion? No. Extractors? No. Refineries? Yes. For No Name, aka Gretorp. And the bunker right there to complete the line of doom. Doesn't want anything coming past that. I mean, they can sort of sneak around there, I think. I think there's this angle here that they could use, but it's pretty good nonetheless. No Name pushes himself forward right there just to deal with Killer's little scouting Zergling. And you know what? What did it ever do to you, Gretorp? What did it ever do to you? Oh, you're such an unpleasant individual. How dare you do such things like killing in video games about killing? Killer knows what's going on, though. He knows his stuff, and his direct response to that is to build another hatchery. Okay, he's not under threat right now, looking to try and break the line with overwhelming pressure. And indeed, how would he do that? Many Zerglings, folks, many Zerglings. He's so behind in gas, though, it's crazy. He's only just got a single extractor up, and he hasn't even got enough for the metabolic boost upgrade. He's now, bear in mind, he's now like almost 6 minutes into the game, and he doesn't have metabolic boost even started, so I don't really blame him, honestly. It doesn't really look like a situation where maybe having that would be all that beneficial early on. I don't know if he'd have been able to actually run this line, and certainly not with the bunker there. That would have been effectively blunted, so one has to wonder. But long as maybe to get the critical mass up right there, and of course there is the possibility of attacking from this direction, although you're still going to run into the same problem over here. Bear in mind, Killer does have map control right now. He knows exactly where his opponent is and what his opponent is doing. A factory has just finished now for Gretorp. Reactor's coming up. There you go. Reactor, ooh, double factory build once again. Looking for that Infernal Pre-Igniter. Yes, indeed. And that's going to be problematic for Killer. Admittedly, it is a little later than you would expect this to come. You'd expect this to be early game harassment. By the time he actually attacks, it's probably going to be more along the 8-minute mark. So, really less of that. There you go. Hatchery now complete for Killer. And I have to wonder what he's actually going to do with that, more to the point. Scouting all Overlord driven away, but indeed the Marine thwarted by the presence of that ventilation shaft that was inconveniently placed there. One has to wonder why you need a ventilation shaft in space, but there you go. There you go, layer on the way, coming up for D-Killer, and also Baneling Nest, so could be looking at Baneling Speed. Why not? Sounds like a good idea. He's going to need to really Baneling bust his way through this line anyway, blow it into tiny little pieces, and with Baneling Speed he could do massive, mega damage to those Hellions if he's able to surround them. More to the point. Metabolic Boost is now complete. I imagine he's going to be going for something fairly shortly. Rolling him out right there, spreading his creep about, looking for an angle. Once he gets that Baneling Nest up, he could apply an absurd amount of pressure to that particular line, probably collapse it. Gretorp continues with the Hellions on its way, and there we go, Infernal Pre-Igniter is complete. Barracks, and another barracks was as... Sorry, I just started casting in Zerg there for the minute. Yes, indeed. Sorry, my Zerg demographic is actually quite large, you'd be surprised. Very important that I cater to them. Okay, looking for the surround. No, absolutely not. Oh, look, it's Blue Flame Hellions out of freaking nowhere. They're called Blue Flame Hellions, folks, because they have a blue flame. I know, it's very crazy terminology, very difficult to learn. As you can see, 7 Hellions now rolling up with a little bit of split around and a dance right here. And Killer's going to have to move to actually do something about that. Spinecrawler's coming in, 1 and 2 at the top of the ramp right there. Good positioning. Should be pretty good. They're going to have to run a gauntlet. However, they're going to be through there before that Spinecrawler is available. Don't know if they'll be able to kill it in time. They don't do all that much damage to buildings. We'll look for the Queens right now to repulse them. Will 2 Queens be enough? It very well may be. Bear in mind, the Blue Flame upgrade does not do extra damage to Queens, because Queens don't have an armor type. No, indeed, they do not. So, they do not get that bonus. And in the meantime, we're looking to complete that Spinecrawler. Baneling Speed is on its way once again. Yes. Gonna be good. Gonna be pretty. Well, at least not for the Terran, but there you go. Spire, almost complete. Mutalisk Harassment is a possibility. Bear in mind that Gretorp already has rolling out what I like to call the build everything strategy. You know, build freaking everything. It's a really good idea. He's got missile turrets coming out. He's got his armory coming out for Thors. Yes, indeed. He's got... That's a lot of barracks and a lot of reactors coming out right now. We're going to build Marine. Nothing wrong with build Marine. Very advanced technique that can be used to great effect by the Terran right there. In the meantime, Killer just hangs back a bit. He doesn't really want to run that line. Not going to go with the Banelings yet. Indeed, he could very well do a horrific amount of damage to that line if he's able to break through and get into the soft, meaty underbelly of Gretorp. Yes, indeed, you heard it here first, folks. Gretorp has a soft, meaty underbelly. There we go. Killer rolling out right here with a Mutalisk Flock, Murder, Flight, whatever you like to call them. The Thors are on their way, but they're certainly not going to be up in time. Looking for some harassment right here. How much is he going to be able to do? 12 Marines are available. Look at that. Missile turrets, yes indeed, all over the place, making things very, very difficult for Killer. Goes in with the harassment once again. Not able to really pick off too much. Little bit of economic damage, nothing severe. And indeed, the economy are both pretty much equal right now. There's the stim right now on the Marines. A lot of damage being done to the Mutalisk, but nowhere near enough, folks. And there we go. They have free reign to cause untold havoc in terms of Gretorp's base, although bear in mind they're actually fairly limited in their angles as regards to what can go in there. But there you go, into the SCV line as much damage as possible, losing yet another Mutalisk. And now Gretorp falling slightly behind in terms of his economy. Killer's probably pretty damn happy about that. Oh yes indeed. No attempts to attack that line with the bunker in as of yet, but now that he knows he has that air superiority, oh, it's good as well. He grabs the Hellions out of freaking nowhere. It's very, very good. D-Killer not able to really surround there, but he didn't need to, and more to the point, he managed to keep most of his Zerglings from dying. So that's very, very good indeed. Now that Blue Flame Hellion threat has now been effectively neutralized. The Thors are on their way up, and that's a lot of Banelings, no question about that. A lot of damage coming in, and this is going to be very messy for Greto. I'm going to have to do something about that. The question is, what exactly is he going to roll out, folks? What exactly is he going to roll out? 1 Thor is on the field, 2 Thors now on the field, 2 more Thors on the field from that double factory. Transitions through to those Thors. Bear in mind, the Thors aren't going to do much against the Zerglings, no question about that. They tend to get nibbled, folks. They get nibbled. They're not all that effective against that. Killer rolls out, 62 more Zerglings. There's a scan by Gretorp. What did he see? He saw part of the Banelings flock. Yes, indeed, part of the Baneling flock. The question is, will he be able to hold it off? More to the point. Marine Shield, not available, but it will be quite soon. Rolling out, no name indeed, possibly going to meet them, or to create a screen in front of this vital blockade that he's got going on right here. That's certainly a possibility. Mutalisks come in from the side once again. They pick up one reactor. Can they take a second? Lots of marine firepower coming in from the bottom, but nowhere near enough. A wheel around, and D-Killer takes them both out. He's also got himself a +1 upgrade for his flyer attacks. Very brutal. In comes the flight of rockets there from the Thors, and the Mutalisks are going to have to back off. Or indeed, are they? The Thors actually back to the front line because they are very, very concerned about the possibility of an attack from the front. And indeed, that's going to be a bit problematic for Gretorp. Could lose a barracks here. Oh yes, it's burning. It's gone. Oh, nasty stuff. And now pulling back from the line. Will D-Killer take advantage of that momentary lapse? That's what he looks to do. There you go, consolidating his forces in the middle right there. This could be absolutely deadly. Bear in mind, though, I'm surprised he hasn't really tried to time that. Or maybe, just maybe, he's trying to draw the forces out, force Gretorp into an attack that he may very well regret. We can also notice that D-Killer has expanded to the bottom of the map right there, onto the gold middle line. Oh, wow. D-Killer rolls out the melee attack upgrades as well. Roaches coming in. Yes, indeed, it's messy stuff right here. Backs all the way out of there. Now looks actually for... Oh, that is such a clever move. Such a clever move. He's drawn the Thors out of position, now trying to beat his way through here. The question is, will he be able to do it in time? Gretorp starting to pull back, or is he? I don't think he sees it. He has no idea. Oh, it is a clever bait and switch right there by Killer, beating his way through the line. No scouting, doesn't see it. He has no freaking idea what is coming for him. It's a swarm from hell. Yes, indeed, even the bugger was salvaged. Oh, God. Gretorp, what is happening to your lines? In the meantime, right here, he's going to attack, but unfortunately, Gretorp with a bit of indecision, now forced all the way back. That expansion in grave trouble. Banelings, oh, right into the line. So much destruction and blood. Oh, wow. Gretorp's economy absolutely gutted right here. Backs him up with roaches with the speed upgrade. It's good. It's very, very good. Gretorp comes in for the backup right here. He continues to try and push his way through. He takes an expansion with the Marines, looking maybe to get some more right here. And now, finally, the reinforcements have arrived. And Killer, was he able to do enough economic damage to justify that? Maybe, just maybe. I'm more concerned about him reinforcing right here, because he's going to lose yet another expansion if he is not careful. Swarm comes around right here. Let's take some missile turrets with the remainder of that force. As much harassment being done as humanly possible. There is a 40. I indeed say that again. For prominence and dramatic effect. A 40. Indeed, now 43 or 44. Difference between harvesters. The economy of Gretorp has been absolutely ruined, and Killer is rolling forward. Bearing in mind, though, Gretorp still has 7 Thors, now 8 on the field. That is not inconsiderable. D-Killer's now going to have to deal with that. Yes, indeed. He grabbed the bull by the tail, and indeed, he's now getting the horns. That could be problematic. Just waiting to see whether or not he's going to be able to hold that line. He continues to pump out the units. 32 Zerglings on the way. He needs those Zerglings. That's so very critical right now. The Roaches will be able to do a good lot of damage, but they will be devastated by the firepower available from those Thors. Back up right here. There's the swarm into the line. Looks to take one. It's a good surround right here. Will the Roaches be able to break it? There's so much firepower available there by the Thors. Thors falling, though. Not quite quick enough. Gretorp remains alive at this point in time. D-Killer forced backwards. Those Thors are badly injured. Where are the Zerglings? The Zerglings were taken out very, very well. There's the stim. So much firepower rained down. 3 and 3 from No Name. And indeed, D-Killer is not able to hold him off. The Thors continue to bash their way through. 3 more Thors remaining. Roaches on the way. Another Thor on its way. Very little in terms of the economy right now. 1 hatchery taken out. Looks for the second. D-Killer, he doesn't have an awful lot available right now. 4 Banelings rolling out. He has nothing in terms of his military. It's a comeback for the ages from Gretorp. After his economy was devastated, he decides, you know what, screw it. We're going all in. We're going with everything we've got. And indeed, another expansion taken out right now. The main of D-Killer in an obscene amount of pain right now. Oh dear, massive threat. Massive, massive threat. Roaches once again coming up. He needs to bring the Thors down. He knows it. He can't right now. Baneling nest is going to be taken out as well. Banelings are available. It all comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Will the defense be effective? If he can do it, then he might be able to counterattack. In it comes once again. There's the Banelings. The Banelings are ineffective. Or are they? Oh my good Lord in heaven. That was deadly, but still the Thors remain alive. More to the point, the Thors are still there, and they're still cutting through D-Killer. D-Killer with the Roaches. Will he be able to do it? There's no chance. There is no way those Roaches will be able to take the Thors out. I'm sorry, it just ain't freaking happening. Looks for the focus fire. Thors ripped apart. They'll maybe take 1. They probably will not take 2. As you can see it, there you go. That main is still under grave threat. Can he get the Zerglings surrounded? That's what he's looking for right here. Can he get enough Zerglings out? I really do doubt it. Firepower being inflicted right now on the lair. In the meantime, D-Killer relying on this, but Thors and indeed Marines and the Hellion battering their way through D-Killer's expansions. It's a turnaround that I have never seen before, folks. Indeed, Gretorp losing one more Thor. Only a single Thor remains, standing proud in the middle of D-Killer's base and reaping a terrible toll. It has 37 kills. Oh, wow. Another expansion taken out. D-Killer has, I must stress at this point, nothing left. Gretorp comes in with fire, fury, and destruction. The Thor still lives. It has 2 HP. Oh, good lord. D-Killer hasn't given up yet, though. He's still got some drones. He's still got some drones. He doesn't have much else. He's got 4 more Zerglings, which means the Thors will finally die. But bear in mind, those Thors rolling out from the side right there. More Thors available for his opponent. His economy is back in a reasonable amount of shape. Expansions are not happening right now for Killer. Killer has nothing. He really, really does not. He wants to try and re-expand right here, but he's going to run right into more Blue Flame Hellions and Thors. There is nothing D-Killer can really do at this point in time. Looks for the attack. What's he going to do? A few Zerglings. That's not going to do an awful lot. As you can see right there, going to be surrounded and annihilated. Blue Flame Hellion takes a good few to even start with. Oh, yes, indeed. No aggression available right now for Killer. No options, nowhere to go. Roach Warren being rebuilt still, but No Name, aka Gretorp, continues to stomp forward. The Thors, ladies and gentlemen, the Thors. Oh, wow, it's a line of not very much. Look at that. Good game, ladies and gentlemen. G frickin' G taken out, and Gretorp takes the first in his best of 3 series.